Okay, so you've probably heard about this new application regarding a very famous tech YouTuber, and there's been quite a lot of controversy. So I wanted to give you my take on it. I have nothing against Marques Brownlee. I actually started this probably because of him. I've been following his content for years, but I do think this is a bad decision, although it could become a good one in the future. But let me tell you a little bit more what I'm talking about, and let's talk about this. That is his new application for wallpapers. Okay, so this app is called Panels, and you can download it either in iOS or Android. But it's not like every other wallpaper application. This is actually a subscription wallpaper app. And it's not the only one. There's quite a couple of them on the market where you have to pay either for the wallpapers or for a subscription. The deal with this one is that first of all, it's pretty expensive. You have to pay about $50 a year. Although I've been checking it out for a couple of days, and now the subscription has gone a little bit down, but basically around $50 a year. I think that is way too much, $4, but still, we could always argue that you don't need to buy this application if you don't want it. And if you think it's too much money for you, well, it's as easy as just don't get it. The deal with this is that a lot of people that are criticizing this are either Marques Brownlee's fans or Marques Brownlee's followers, subscribers, whatever you want to call it. And I do think it's justifiable because this is a person whose job is to criticize products and gadgets. And this app is also a product. So I think it's quite fair to criticize a product from somebody that actually makes a living from criticizing other products. So this app not only makes you subscribe so you can get the full version out of the wallpaper, he also claims he gives about 50% of the revenue to the creators of each wallpaper, which you would say is okay, but compared to other platforms who share revenue, even including YouTube and AdSense, is below the average. I mean, you can get, I think in Patreon it's only, you get 80% and Patreon only takes 20%, which is not bad if you're a Patreon user. I've never used Patreon, so I'm not completely sure about that, but I am a YouTuber, and I know YouTube gets below 40%. So Marques is taking even more than YouTube is, and that's not the only way they're making money on this application. If you don't have the paid version, you have to sit down through a 30-second ad every time you download a low-resolution version of the wallpaper you want to download. And to be completely honest with you, these wallpapers are not that great. That's only my opinion. Obviously, this is subjective. Everybody has their own opinion about different types of wallpapers. You might find them very attractive. I don't. I think they're pretty simple, too minimalistic in some cases, and just kind of bland. So you do you. If you think they're cool, go right ahead. You can get an HD version without paying absolutely anything. But there's another thing that's made this a little bit controversial, and that is that this application is asking to track your data, saving your personal data, and Marques did come out and say publicly that this is a fluke, it's a bug, and they will be fixing it along the road. My deal with that is that I've always supported Marques Brownlee's work saying and criticizing other brands, like for example Apple. He's criticized a lot when they ask to track your information, use that information either for ads or selling it to other parties. And if this app were made by Apple, I know perfectly well he would be criticizing it. So that is a little bit controversial towards your brand, towards your person, and it's something you've always tried to criticize, and now you're doing exactly the same thing you're saying is wrong. The video where he actually publicized his new app was, I think, the iPhone 16 review. And the first thing he says in this video is, please don't buy a product based on a promise. It says buy the product for what it is right now. And after that, after the whole video and explaining what the iPhone 16 is, which the video is awesome, as always, his work is excellent. Well, then comes to say, this is only a wallpaper application, but don't want to promise too much, but it will be a lot better in the future, or we'll have something different in the future. Not exactly those words, but something along that line. After saying, don't buy a product based on a promise. And he's still promising something that might come to the future to a product where you have to pay. So again, he's obviously going against what his words say and going completely against what his brands say. I think it has been so important for the Marques Brownlee brand that they've actually gotten a little bit low on the uploading, probably doing a little bit of damage control. I don't wish him any harm. I don't wish that this application even disappears. I just wish they work a little bit better on it. And I think there's a couple of things they could do on it to make you have a better experience. For example, change the way you earn money on it. Marques Brownlee is a brand that earns a lot of money. He has his own merch. He has a huge YouTube channel which earns a lot of revenue. I mean, he has his own warehouse near Newark. I think that must not be cheap, over 10 employees or even more. So I'm sure he doesn't need the money like if this were just a cash and grab. Now, this looks a lot more like maybe something Logan Paul would do, but I didn't expect it from Marques Brownlee. And what I would do with this app is, well, yes, leave obviously ads on it, because you do have to earn money. You don't make a product just to earn absolutely nothing from it. So leave the ads on it. But make every resolution completely free. Don't pay a subscription on it. Don't ask for money for a subscription. And obviously pay the creators a little bit more. Your revenue might not be that high at the beginning, but if every person commits to you because you are Marques Brownlee and because you have over 20 million followers, you will earn way more if people support your project. Either if you start charging and just saying, well, if you don't like my product, then don't buy it. I think you should actually go a little bit more towards your audience, give them something that adds a little bit of value. I'm sure a lot of these people will actually appreciate the wallpapers, because I do know there are comments saying, where do you get that wallpaper? How do you do them? And Marques has sometimes given them where you can download them, given some of them out for free, and that's where I actually think he got this idea. So the only thing I think happened here with Marques was probably bad advice. I'm sure this development didn't come completely from him, but he followed advice from somebody who maybe he shouldn't have followed. And that's it. I don't think he's a bad person. I don't think he's trying to become rich with his app, but the development and the advertising on it was completely a mistake. So I hope he can correct this. I don't think he's going to disappear from YouTube. I don't think it's going to be canceled. This is the very first time he does something like this. So again, I don't have anything against Marques Brownlee, but yes, this is a bad app. It has a bad product, it has a bad pricing, and it has sketchy data recollection. And take into account what I told you. If Apple would have made this app, well, Marques would have said, why the hell are they tracking and asking for so much information? But what do you guys think? Are you going to download the app? Are you going to pay the subscription? Have you already paid it? Drop a comment below. And also tell me, what do you guys think about Marques? I actually think he's a nice guy.